Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. Let's have a look at my clear of Calcabrina in Final Fantasy Brave EXVIUS. And then this is my team. My physical tank is going to be Mercenary Ramza. And then I've upped his elemental resistance a lot as well. Especially fire, since that will be the kind of the element that I'm activating on the boss in the second stage. And the next is Illusionist Nicole. He is here to redirect onto my 100% evade character. But his limit break will also come in handy. Veritas of the Light is here to do damage in the first phase against all of the little guys, and then she can do healing in the second phase. And then my breaker is going to be 2B. I gave her a fire weapon, and then she also has the 100% evade. And then finally is Zargabath, also giving him a fire weapon, and then he will be my buffer. Although, thinking back on it, maybe I should have made Zargabath the 100% evade character, so I could put more like attack stuff on 2B, but for some reason I didn't think of it until I got the clear. But anyway, let's look at the mission. And then my friend is going to be Yuna. And then this Yuna is funny actually, because she has a bunch of experience boost stuff. So she's not equipped at all for like spirit or magic or defense or whatever. But I just wanted her as a 7-star because she can dual cast like Re-Raise and Curaja, and then her green magic spells, the elemental resistance stuff. And then this first phase is not so bad because we can use magic damage. And then Veritas of the Light, she has, of course, the hybrid damage. So, of course, that counts as magic as well. And then she has a bunch of Slayers. And then the dolls, they are, demons and fairies. Veritas of the Light has both of those Slayers, so we can get good damage on here. But first action, we're going to provoke with Ramza, and then this will hit everybody with a physical attack. And then the little dolls, they will counterattack based on who hits them with what sort of attack. So Mercenary Ramza will be getting a lot of physical attacks at the end of this turn. And then Illusionist Nicole, he's going to redirect attacks to the 100% evade 2B, and then he will give Mercenary Ramza some images so that he can dodge some physical attacks. And then with Zargabath we will buff. With Veritas of the Light we will use Saint Buster. That's available turn 1 if you enhance her. And then yeah, lots of damage to the little guys. And then with Yuna we'll just give a re-raise to some of my more important characters. Although probably won't need it. Okay, so here come the counterattacks. Some of them will go to Mercenary Ramza. I guess he did need the re-raise after all. And then other attacks will go to 2B, who can evade them all. And then, yeah, basically we just need to keep up that, pattern of actions. So again, with Mercenary Ramza, first thing we'll do is the Stone Throw. Get the physical damage on everybody. And then with 2B, after we use her Supreme Support Weapon on the first turn, that will unlock True Charge Blade. And then we can use that, and that will fill her limit break gauge. The Supreme Support Weapon is a AoE break, full break, for I think like 70% or something. And that will last for 3 turns, so we get to use a True Charge Blade for a few turns in order to fill the limit break. And then we can use that to do more breaks, and then continue that, that order of actions. Alright, with Veritas of the Light, Saint Buster is no longer available because we used it last turn. So we use Divine Shot instead. That's lots of little hits instead of like 1 or 2 big hits, but still good damage. And then I've been kind of going back and forth on whether I want to do a review video of 2B or not. If I did do it, it would not be a thorough review. I would not talk about everything that she can do. I would only be talking about how I use her. I'm thinking I'm not going to do it, so I'll just talk about her in this video instead. But basically I use her as just a breaker, and then get some kind of support damage from her limit break. Okay, so phase 2 will take on the big Calcabrina, and then this will be the phase that takes a long time. And then I was reading, like, both the English and the Japanese wikis, like, for strategies on how to beat this guy. And for some reason, it just wasn't, you know, getting into my head, like, what was going on here. But finally, I think I saw Sinzar's video on YouTube, and then he explained that you need to use a certain element on the boss, and then the boss will counterattack in that element. If you attack with the wrong element, however, it will do a super duper attack. But if we stick to fire, lightning, or water, then that attack will be less, and so we'll be able to survive that. So I'm making sure all of my guys have only fire weapons, fire attacks, and then I'm going to work on boosting my fire resistance, so that when the boss counterattacks with an extra strong fire attack, we'll be okay. So yeah, there's the Bar Faraga. And then for the second phase, Veritas of the Light is not going to attack at all, because we don't want to hit the boss with light damage, because that will get that super counterattack on us and then take us out. So she'll just heal using her Divine skill. And then the majority of the damage is going to come from 2B's True Charge Blade and Limit Break, which does decent damage, but she's not going to be able to do it every turn, so that's why this second phase is going to take so long. And again, I should have made Zargobath the 100% evade character that Illusionist Nicole can redirect onto, so that I could have given more attack stuff to 2B and then speed up this second part of the fight. But yeah, like I said before, first turn we'll just use a Supreme Support Weapon with 2B, we'll get that break, and then we will unlock the True Charge Blade. And then we'll use a True Charge Blade for a couple turns, build up the Limit Break gauge, and then we will use the Limit Break, maybe turn 4. That will be another break, good for 3 turns, and then hopefully by the end of there we'll have Supreme Support Weapon up again, and then we can, you know, restart that, that pattern. The thing about the pattern, though, is that if 2B dies at some point during that time, you know, she'll lose her access to the True Charge Blade, and so it will be more difficult to fill her Limit Break gauge. That's part of the reason why I went with Mercenary Ramza, because he can entrust. And so if I find myself in a situation where I really need 2B's Limit Break, I can use Ramza there. And then with Yuno, we'll also use the Bar Thundaga and the Bar Waterga. That will also give me the resistance to those 2 elements as well, which the boss will also hit us with. But yeah, for the moment, that's basically the only way that I'm using 2B. Just that rotation of filling the Limit Break gauge and then using that when I can. It's fun. It's fun to use her because, you know, that Limit Break can do a lot of damage. But she is kind of risky to use, just because she can go down and then lose access to the True Charge Blade. Alright, so here, let's skip ahead to turn 5, because turn 5 is when the boss is going to do kind of a super attack. Okay, so turn 4 just ended, we are in turn 5. The boss did a curl up action, which improves the defense and spirit. So it's not really worth using any attacks, you know, to hope for some damage. Instead, I'm going to use any kind of defensive actions that I can take, because every 5 turns, the boss will hit everybody with a very strong attack. And then the previous turn, I used Illusionist Nicole's Limit Break. And then that gave everybody images, so that will help everybody dodge some of these strong attacks this next turn. Okay, but we will refresh the redirect and then the additional images on Ramza. With Light Veritas we will heal, of course. And then we'll guard with Ramza, and then that will, decrease the damage that he takes from the next strong attack. And then here I'm going to use True Charge Blade with 2B. Her Limit Break gauge is filled, but Zargabas was not. So I wanted to fill that, I did, and then we'll use Alexander Crest. That will further mitigate damage to us. Alright, I'm checking to see who has re-raise. Okay, let's see how we take this next attack. So there are the counterattacks. And then Inferno, that's the buffed up fire attack. Okay. So still a lot of damage, and then Yuna went down. And that was even with all of my, my defensive stuff. So it's pretty important that I get all of that out. Alright, but now we are just waiting until turn 10. Although there is a threshold at 80% that we have to worry about as well. So let's provoke again there. Let's break here. The boss's defense is up, so it won't do a ton of damage, but yeah, it'll cross the threshold at the very least. It is just a gravity attack, however, so it should not kill us. So that's why I don't need to use, super big buffs with Illusionist Nicole or Zargabath. Alright, Pressure, that's the name of the attack. And then it should have, taken us down, below 10% HP. But because I still had some, damage mitigation and stuff left over from previous turns, I didn't take away all of the life this turn. Alright, but then we will go back into that pattern where we fill up 2B's Limit Break, and then just keep using her Limit Break. So let's skip ahead to turn 10. Okay, turn 10. Big attack is coming again, so we'll want to put up some defenses. Alright, let's provoke again with Ramza. With 2B, we'll use True Charge Blade again. With Illusionist Nicole, we'll use his Limit Break, give everybody the images again. With Zargabath, we will use his damage mitigating Limit Break. We will heal with Veritas of the Light. And then Yuna will do her usual thing. She'll heal if I need it. If not, she'll hand out re-raises or increase the resistance to an element. I really, really want a second Yuna because I think she's awesome as a 7-star. I'd really like to have her. Not quite enough to use select tickets to get her, but... Okay, so here comes the attack. Whee. Okay, that was not bad at all, actually. Yeah, that was helped because of Nicole and Zargabath using their Limit Breaks, I'm sure. Okay, so we'll just continue the pattern. I guess we'll skip ahead to turn 15, or until we get to the 60% threshold, whichever one comes first. Okay, let's look at turn 14. We might cross the threshold here, so let's see what we do. And then once we cross the 60% threshold, Calcabrina will hit us with a magic attack, AoE. So I thought I would use Mercenary Ramsa's magic cover in order to take care of that. Alright, well then with 2B, we'll use True Charge Blade again. Okay, didn't quite fill Zargabath's limit break gauge, but maybe we can get that next turn. But let's use Illusionist Nicole's here. And heal with Veritas of the Light. And then up to now, I've been using Ramsa in the second phase as a provoke tank only. I didn't think to use him as a magic tank. And then I was relying on the elemental resistances to survive the magic attacks. Okay, so here the counterattacks went to 2B, and then Ramsa covered the magic damage. And then kind of something like went off in my head, and I was thinking, oh, maybe I can use his magic cover every turn, and then have the the physical attacks go to 2B. And then maybe I wouldn't have to worry as much about my elemental resistances. And then that turned out to be the kind of the right thing to do. And so the rest of this phase 2 will be easier from a survivability standpoint. Alright, but turn 15, we're just going to raise the defenses again. Alright, we'll break the boss here. Not a lot of damage, again, because the boss is curled up. I didn't really need that heal, but there's kind of nothing else for Light Veritas to do, so might as well. Okay, we'll refresh some of the elemental resistances. Alright, so here again, the counterattacks went into 2B. And then Ramsa's covering the magic damage. And that turned out to be awesome. Because the combination of the gravity attack plus the magic might have killed many of my guys. But since I had the magic cover with Ramsa, he was able to cover that all. And yeah, that might have won me the fight right there. So yeah, if I were to play Calcabrina again, probably just from the beginning of the second phase, I would use my magic tank, and then redirect the physical attacks to 2B, and probably I would be fine that way. So yeah, in that sense, it's kind of a funky clear, because I wasn't really clear on the mechanics of the second half of the fight, but I kind of figured it out as I went through. So yeah. And then also the fact that Yuna is not really geared up at all. Alright, but we'll just keep on with 2B's rotation and then do damage to the boss little by little. And then we'll skip ahead to turn 20. Okay, turn 20. We will block with Ramsa, True Charge Blade again with 2B. Limit Break from Nicole, Limit Break from Zargabath. I have the rotations down pretty well now. Healing with Veritas of the Light. And yeah, we can see there that the True Charge Blade, it did more damage than usual. Because the boss is not curled up at this point. The curled up thing comes out every 4 turns, and then the big attack comes out every 5 turns. So here they're kind of staggered, so that I can do more damage this turn. Okay, let's see how we handle this attack. So counterattacks again go to 2B. Ramza covers the magic. Everybody takes the gravity attack. And awesome. And then the boss curls up, so yeah. But yeah, about half damage to everybody, so that was a really successful turn as far as surviving. Okay, finally, let's go to when we cross the 20% threshold. Okay, turn 27. Alright, True Charge Blade here again with 2B. And then once we cross the 20% threshold, then the boss will, you know, kind of do the usual counterattacks, and then we'll split back into the 6 little guys. If we were to take down the boss here, just to do, you know, just do the 20% damage all at once here, that would be the end of the fight. But since I'm only using a 2B as my one damage source, that wasn't really an option for me. So we'll just push past 20 and then do the rest of the stuff that we need to get ready for the next phase. And then since this was my first time beating it, I wasn't sure if Calcabrina was going to do her standard counterattacks in addition to splitting apart. But I just played it safe and just assumed that she would do her standard counterattacks. And then here, I summoned the Esper, so I could get that Summon Esper mission clear. I chose Carbuncle because it doesn't attack the boss at all, and so there's no chance of like triggering some kind of bad counterattack. And then also I need to do Fire, Water, Earth, and Light damage. I've done Fire and Light already. I could do Earth damage here, but that would make the boss counterattack in a bad way. But we can use a Water attack, and then that's one of the 3 elements that we can attack with, where we won't get wiped. So we can do that here. And then with Yuna, we will raise the water resistance. Okay, let's see what happens here. Okay, counterattacks as usual. Alright, here comes the splitting apart. Alright. So, we are back in the first phase, and then one of 2 things can happen here. Either we take down the little guys within 5 turns, I think it is, or 5 turns go by, and then the dolls go back together, and then we have to fight the big one again. But if we defeat the big one there, that'll be the end of the fight. However, I am confident that I can beat it here, because Light Veritas just does so much damage to these guys. And then here I am discovering that Saint Buster is not available here. The reason for that is because the turn count just continues from the previous phase. It's not like an all-new fight. So we'll use a Divine Shot instead. I think I forget to break here, however. Let's see. But against these little guys, we don't need to worry about elemental attacks. So I don't need to use Yuna's green magic anymore. Alright, I decided to use the Limit Break instead. That does break defense and spirit, but that was not a lot of damage there. I haven't leveled it up very high, that Limit Break, so yeah, I probably should have done the break with 2B first. Alright, this might be a dangerous turn, because I wasn't able to break the attack and magic of everybody. I think I still have the damage mitigation from Zargabas' Limit Break from an earlier turn, so maybe I was feeling confident. Okay, counterattacks on Ramza. He goes down, but he had the re-erase, so he comes back. And then we'll go back to our old pattern. First we will do the provoke with Ramza in order to provoke everybody. Let's break everybody here. Refresh the redirect, and then the images on Ramza. And then all of the dolls, they have the buffs on themselves, so I'm not going to be able to do as much damage as I would like. And I don't think I have a Dispelga either. Yeah, that's not a lot of damage. At this point, I'm worried if I can take down these guys within 5 turns. But I was, you know, mentally prepared to go through that second fight a second time. But this time, I would know that I could use Ramza as a magic tank and then get through that much more easily, I think. Okay, we're going to buff Veritas of the Light. That was with the Arcadian Crest, which is that single target buff. But that's one of my favorite skills of Zargabath. It does remove status debuffs and then adds a single buff. So I really like it. It's always available. And yeah, easy to use. Okay, kind of big damage there, but we got through it. And then, yeah, after 2 turns, the self-buff wears off. And then everybody's still broken, so now I can start doing some real damage to the little guys. Once again, we'll provoke with Ramza. Let's break with a 2B. The cooldown skill is charged up again. And of course, Divine Shot with Veritas of the Light. And I was really happy to use Illusionist Nicole here again. It's been a while. I haven't really needed him. And to be honest, I'm still not quite sure how his skill works, especially with Ramza doing a provoke at the same time. But it turned out okay, so I'm not complaining. And then yeah, much better damage from Divine Shot there. That was without the self-buff on the little guys here. Alright, it's important that Light Veritas is up, so we'll put the re-raise on her. And then I'm pretty sure that the break is going to hold, so I'll save the Supreme Support Weapon for a later turn. Okay, nice tanking there. And then this might be the last chance, or the second to last chance, to take down these little guys before they, you know, form one big doll. So I gotta take them down here. But here, let's break. With Zargabath, let's use Arcadian Crest on Veritas of the Light, get that nice buff in there. And then with Light Veritas, let's use Divine Shot. And this should do it. However, to clear that last mission, I need to do earth damage. So with Illusionist Nicole, let's use Earth Drum. That will do a little bit of damage to one guy. And set off the attacks. Alright, so everybody's down, and then that last one gets hit with the earth damage. So that should be all missions clear. I got a chain of 6 or more somewhere in there. I don't remember where, but... Okay, and that is that. So I get the Cursed Doll, very happy about that. That is the item that I have with the highest flat attack, which hopefully will be useful for the parameter mission. And all missions clear. Alright, so that was kind of a funky clear. I kind of figured out my defense strategy like halfway through, and then Yuna was not really geared up at all. But we got the clear, and I was very happy about that. Okay, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again. Take care.